and she is going to be discussing with us tonight all things money. She has an amazing firm here in Houston. Well, she's based in Orlando now, but I do know that she started this company here and a few of her other businesses as well. It is called the Firm Credit and Business Group, which she launched in 2020. She does have a master's degree in tax law. So I am super excited to learn from her tonight because I am certain that she has an array of different strategies and resources that she can share with us. And she is going to take over for us as well. So please be mindful of keeping your phones on mute until it is time for you to interact, and then you are more than welcome to also interact with us in the chat. So I'm going to mute myself so that Miss Joy can have the floor. Welcome, Joy.
Thank you. So how is everyone doing this evening? Before I start my presentation, I am losing my voice, so work with me. But whenever I talk about business structure, whenever I talk about running your business, I need everyone to put their money hats on. Because we're going to be talking about how we are the CEOs of 7 or 8 figure businesses. So every multi-million or multi-billion dollar business has always started small. They're starting at college dorm rooms. They're starting in apartments. So it doesn't matter where you're starting now. The whole goal is to get your business where it needs to go to at the finish line. So if anyone can type in the chat, does everyone have their LLC already? Yes or no? So I can know where I need to start in the business structure. Okay, I got 1 yes, 2 yes. Okay, y'all already together. Perfect. Okay. So we're going to bypass all of that and get to here. Okay, so we already have our business structure. We already have our LLC. That is perfect. Now, once we have our LLC, forming our LLC is the first step. We want to be able to keep the asset protection that the LLC gives us. So we'll say this pink cup is you. You may have a house and you may have a car and you may have money in the bank. When you form your LLC, you separate the business from your personal assets. Therefore, if anything were to happen at your daycare, a child breaks its neck, a child slips and falls and becomes paralyzed, and your daycare gets sued, you're only going to lose whatever the daycare owns. We want to make sure that we keep this asset protection structure of separating yourself from your business. And we do that in multiple ways. Number one, we have to make sure that our LLC is active. So forming your LLC is the first step. The second step is going to be making sure, if you're in Texas, you have to file an annual report, or it's also going to be called a Texas franchise tax report. That'll be filed with the Texas Comptroller's Office. There is no annual fee to have an LLC or a corporation in Texas. So every year on May 15th, this form is due. If we don't file this form, then the state of Texas is going to make your LLC inactive, meaning we no longer have this structure. They're going to negate your LLC, and so now your house, your car, the money in the bank will now be exposed to any kind of business creditors, and we don't want that. After we're making sure that we're keeping our LLC active, the second thing we want to make sure to keep our asset protection of the LLC is having an operating agreement if we have an LLC, or having a bylaws if we have a corporation. These are going to be contracts as to how your business should be ran, and they are a corporate formality. The next thing we need to make sure is whatever kind of licenses, permits, insurance that the daycare industry requires for you to have in Texas. We don't want any of that to lapse. If a child were to choke and die at your facility, and it just so happened that your insurance policy lapsed on that same day. It just so happened that the license, you didn't renew it on time. You no longer have this structure. Your LLC is now going to be negated, and now we're looking at losing our house, our car, and the money in the bank. So forming your LLC is the first step. You want to keep that asset protection by filing your annual report or your Texas franchise tax report, having the proper license and insurance, and having the proper contracts, the operating agreement, or the bylaws. Now, you may have multiple businesses, okay? So you may have a daycare, you may have a clothing boutique, you may do lashes. What we don't want to do is have one LLC. We'll have our daycare. We don't want to have one LLC and then use this same LLC to run other businesses in it. For this reason, let's say that your daycare is your main source of income. You're paying all your living expenses from your daycare. You're paying all the daycare expenses. And maybe you're now starting your new lash boutique and online boutique with the daycare money. You start your lashes. You may not be that good. You get some glue on the girl's contact. The contact gets stuck to the girl's eye. She turns blind. She's now suing the entity that she's doing business with, which will still be the daycare, since you put everything under one LLC. She's going to have access, if she were to win the lawsuit, to get the daycare money, the boutique money, and the eyelash money, all because you merged everything into one LLC. So we don't want that. So for asset protection reasons, we want to separate each business. So each business that we're doing needs to be its own separate LLC. Same scenario. I have my daycare, my pink cup, and I got my got my eyelash boutique in my yellow cup. Put too much glue on the girl's eye. She turns blind. She can only get what the lash company has. She can't touch my daycare money. So any kind of business that you get, if the second you started the idea, you don't want to merge any entities together. You want to keep everything separate for asset protection reasons. Any questions thus far on the proper structure of multiple businesses or keeping your asset protection for your LLC? Okay, let's get to the money. So, business grants are a great way to get money into your business that, number one, is not going to be based on credit. It's not going to be based on revenue. You're not going to need any kind of financial. So we don't need a profit and loss statement. We don't need tax returns. We're not going to have to pay the money back. So it's not like we're increasing our monthly debt. But a great thing about business grants is that the application is really simple. A lot of them are going to just be an online application asking you questions, and you're just typing in the answers. So you're not having to come up with a 20-page grant proposal. Now, most of the questions on a business grant will be either what problem does your business solve, what makes your business stand out or unique from the competition, how would you use the money, why did you start your business, and what challenges did you face in starting your business. The basic requirements for having for getting a business grant would be an LLC, an active LLC, an EIN, and a business bank account. However, to make your business stand out from the competition, I would recommend having a branded email address. So not a Gmail, not a Yahoo, not an iCloud. All of those are considered personal email addresses. We want to have a branded email address. So info@yourcompaniesname.com. You then want to have a website or a landing page. And then you also want to have business social media. So when they Google your business, things pop up. If you don't already have a branded email address, you can go to GoDaddy.com. You'll have to buy the domain name. And then once you get that domain name, they're going to offer you an email service. It's going to cost you about 99 cents a month, so $12 for the year to have that professional or that branded email address. Now, what are some great things to ask for in a business grant? Well, if you're in a daycare, you can ask for supplies. Maybe there's a new curriculum out that you want to have that will be more competitive and you can get more parents. Maybe we need to redo our playground. We need to update what our playground our playground is looking like. Maybe we want to redo the ground. My mom has she's a headmaster at a Montessori school, and they just laid some kind of special floor on their daycare outside. So it's not dirt, but it's something different. But it's some kind of special floor. So when the kids fall, it's not going to hurt the kids as much. Maybe we need to remodel our daycare. Maybe we need to expand and get some more rooms, or just kind of a new little paint job. Maybe some more. What are those things called? What do they call things for kids that they touch and play? I can't think of the word. She's a monster.
Manipulative.
Thank you, manipulatives. Maybe we need some new things like that. So, or a software. Maybe we could. Maybe our billing is off because we don't have the proper software. Or maybe there is a better software or more efficient software in running your daycare. Maybe it's time for us to hire some more employees. Maybe we have a waiting list. If I had another staff member, I could then take on a whole nother classroom. Maybe we want to give some of our employees bonuses. Daycare is a tough industry as far as finding good, reliable employees to stay. It's always a lot of in and out, and it's hard to train someone. So if you have a staff member that has been with you for 3-5 years, they understand your system, they're great with kids, they're following all the protocols, you're not having any kind of write-ups from the state, maybe you want to give them an employee bonus to help retain them at your daycare. So these are all kind of things that you want to ask for, anything that will make you more money. So in daycare, payroll is going to be extremely important because there are so many issues going on in daycares. We have babies being left on the bus dying. We have employees that are beating the kids, okay? So when it comes to, the safety of someone's child, it's very important that we have efficient employees, and you have to pay top dollar to get that kind of employee. We're not talking about employees for, a smoothie shop, an ice cream shop. We're talking about dealing with someone's child. So you want to think about things that you may need to help your business make more money. What we don't want to ask for in the grant is to catch up on bills, operating expenses, to pay yourself, or you don't want to talk about your business as being destitute. I don't have any clients. I'm on the brink of closing. I just need something to help me out to get me through the next 30 days. You want to always position your business to be either the new up and coming, you're established, but you want to speak about your business in a positive light. Now, I have a grant bundle where you can find grants. You can also Google grants. You can look at either the Chamber of Commerce. You can look at Texas. In fact, Texas has, let me text my mama. Texas has a child care grant. Hold on. Where they will give you money every single month. I'm texting my mom. I got her this grant. What is the name of the daycare grant? All you have to do is show why do you need the money. So what can you improve in your daycare to make it more efficient? What does the competition have that you don't have? What can you do to be able to increase your enrollment? What are some things that that parents are looking for? Maybe we can offer some kind of after school curriculum where a gymnastics coach can come in, or some kind of, daycare is going to be young though. A music coach can maybe come in. Different things that the kids can get. You can go on websites like helloalice.gov, grantwatch.gov. But you want to make sure I always tell people apply for 5 to 10 business grants a month. Now, you don't have to apply for a niche specific grant. There are grants for daycares, but there are also grants for small businesses. There are grants for minority owned businesses. There are grants for women owned businesses. Okay, so if you are a Black woman, you can apply for all the small business grants. You can apply for all the minority grants. You can apply for all the women owned grants. When it comes to applying for the grants, the first thing you want to do is, one, like I always said, let me type, hold on. I'm going to type in the chat the name of the daycare grant. It's going to be with the Texas Workforce Commission. Texas. She gets like $25,000 every quarter. But you want to first break down what does your daycare need to be able to increase enrollment, to be able to make more money. A daycare is going to be based off of numbers. How many kids can I get in this door? If we're already maxed out, then we need to be looking for, how can I expand my daycare? How can I make another room? Or do I need to be going to get another building? If we can't expand, you can try to do add-on things as to how can I get that same customer to spend more money. So what else can I offer to be able to have, if Johnny's coming in, I'm getting $1,000 a month from Johnny, how can I make that $1,000 a month be $1,300 a month? I don't know if we can offer some kind of program, and let's just say if they can take music in the morning or in the afternoon, the music coach may charge you $50 a client, but you can add on an additional fee so that the daycare gets some money for having the music coach come. So I'm gonna charge the parent $100. I don't know if we can maybe have uniforms. I don't know if we can maybe provide some kind of healthier alternatives for lunch or snacks, right? You want to try to see what are some different things that you can do to have each head be some more money. So what can we do to make more money at our daycare? What are you needing? What resources are you lacking? That's what you want to ask for. When you're applying for the grant, you want to see what business is giving the grant and why are they giving the grant. There's going to be on the grant page, there will be like an about section. For example, there's an Amber grant. It's going to be for a woman-owned business. Any grants for Virginia Child Care. For Virginia Child Care, what you need to look at is just small business grants. You can look in your state, you can look in your county, you can contact the Chamber of Commerce, but the majority of the grants are going to just be small business grants. It doesn't have to be daycare specific. So there's an Amber grant. Amber grant is going to be for a woman-owned business. The Amber grant literally has three. In fact, the Amber grant literally has 3 questions. Let me see if I can. Can I X out of this screen? Let me see. You know, sometimes seeing something is more believable. Okay, here we go. Do y'all see, does it say Amber Grant on here, on my screen? What's it say?
Your slideshow is still up?
Girl. Okay, let me stop that share. I want the Amber Grant.
Okay, so now we see that, yes.
Okay. So when you're applying for a grant, they're going to tell you why this organization or why this business is given the grant, okay? So Women's Net founded the Amber Grant in 1998. The grant was set up with one goal in mind: to honor the memory of a very special young woman Amber, who died at just 19 years old before realizing her business dreams. Today, Women's Net carries on the tradition of proudly giving away at least $30,000 every month in Amber Grant money. In recognition of diversity of businesses owned by women, we've expanded our grant. Okay, boom. So they are giving this for women. You want to know why the organization or business is doing the grant? Because you now want to relate your business to that cause. So when we're going to answer these questions that I want to get to on the next page, we want to answer them with the angle of dealing with a woman-owned business. Now, they're not mentioning Amber's ethnicity. So I'm not going to talk about being a black woman, a Latino woman, an Indian. I'm just going to talk about being a woman. You want to mirror as close as you can why they're giving the grant. Now, here are going to be some other winners. Okay, here's one last year. This is ZZ's Ice Cream Puffs.
Hi, my name is Jama with the Women's Net Advisory Board, and I am...
Let's just get to ZZ.
Is we plan on doing that, a lot more marketing, and then hiring more staff.
That is so awesome and so much fun. And we love your flavor combinations.
Oh, thank you.
And maybe, Sally, will you introduce us a little bit to your business and let us know what you've been doing?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Sally Plumley. I make custom handcrafted hardwood furniture. So I run a wood shop in Richmond, Virginia. I was so excited and absolutely surprised to hear when I won the original $10,000 grant, because I was still on maternity leave when I got the phone call, and it was...
Anyway, baby, just regular people. Okay? So all they want is an aha story. What did you do with the money? So after you go and you look to see why they're doing it, we now want to go look and see who else won the grant. What kind of businesses won the grant? And you just want to kind of see what is their story. We're just trying to see who can we mirror. Now we're going to go to the actual grant application. Here's the grant application for $10,000. They want to know your name, your email address, your business name, your website or Facebook page. Here's the first question. Tell us about your business or your business idea. What motivates you? What's the story behind your business? What are the opportunities and challenges? We're going to answer these questions as a woman owner. We're not going to mention any kind of diversity. We're not going to mention the struggle of being a black woman. We're not going to mention whatever struggle a woman would have. So if you have a child, if you're maybe a single mother, anything that is neutral as far as a woman, that's how we're going to answer this question. The second question is, tell us what you would do with the money if awarded the grant. Please be specific about your plans if you won the $10,000 and the $25,000 year-end grant. So for the $10,000 grant, what are you needing? You want to have a detailed budget. Don't just say $5,000 for marketing and $5,000 for equipment. Have it be specific. I need $6,221 for equipment. I need $3,102 for new software so that I can run a different kind of daycare program. And you want to have what you want and then how it's going to make you money. You want to add a new swing set. You want to add a tent to kind of cut out of all the heat on the summertime. You want to maybe have all your staff get retrained in CPR. What are some of the things that your business needs to make it more money? But don't just say don't just say what you need, also add why you need the money. And that's the application right there. Most business grants are going to be an application in this format where they are asking you a question. Most business grants are going to have an extra thing on the bottom saying in 300 words or less. So they're not wanting to know a long sob story. They don't want to know the background. I was born in blah, blah, blah. They want you to kind of just give them the meat of what it is that you're asking for and why. So that would be a look at what a business grant application would be. You have to be mindful that these people understand that you're business owners. So they're not expecting you to have a PhD in language arts. They don't expect it to be, just sounding like you're just some kind of language arts professor. It may not sound the best. What they're looking for is what business owner knows, if I have this $5,000 equipment, I can make more money by doing X, Y, and Z. If I could remodel my daycare and add a whole nother room, I could get me 10 more heads in here and make additional money. If I was able to maybe capture a new marketing campaign to show my daycare facility to this certain area, I could get about 10 more clients. Who is the best business owner that can explain to them how they're going to flip that money? So at the end of the year, they're going to run back to you for either a video or a testimony as to how this money helped your business, because they have to go back to their donors to ask for more money for the following year. So far, any questions on any grants for California? There are grants for every state. Every state has a grant. Every chamber of commerce has a grant. Your city chamber of commerce will have a grant. Your states have grants, but there are business grants. Let's just Google. Let's just Google. Actually, I'll just go into my grant bundle. That'll show you where most of the grants are. Let me go back and share my screen. Okay, so if you look at the bottom down here, let me make it small. At the bottom will be the different categories. So you have business grants, you have women grants, there's grants for moms, there's felon-friendly grants, emergency grants, we got trucking, agriculture, nonprofits, film and music camp. Now we got all the states. So all the states that have grants are on here, but most of the business grants are going to be for businesses. So let's go to the business grant tab. Bam. So I have the grant list organized by, so this first section of grants is going to be for grants that are continuous, meaning offered every single month. Then I have the grants breaking down by month. So January, February. So let's see, this month, February, we are daycare. So for February, daycare, small businesses. What's today? Today's the 20th. There's a Black History Makers grant for $5,000. We have another grant right here. The Black Girls in TikTok grant for $10,000. Right here we have an ARPA small business grant. And then I have the grants for all of the months. They also have grants for women-owned businesses. So all you would have to do is have a 51% ownership in the business. And these would be all the grants for women-owned businesses based on the due dates. So look for small business grants, minority-owned business grants, woman-owned grants. Apply for 5 to 10 grants every single month. The first time you're going to be scared. You're going to be nervous. I don't know what to say. All that good stuff. In my grant bundle, I have training courses that will map out what to ask for, how to fill out the applications, what not to say, how to make your business stand out and look how to make your business stand out from all the other rest. How to make the grant reviewer kind of just like what your business is talking about. Once you fill out your first grant application, you're going to kind of get a feel for it. The grant applications are going to be asking you the same thing, just in different ways. But they're going to be asking the same thing over and over and over again. So once you type out your answers, when you start applying for the grants, you're really going to be copying and pasting your answer. You'll be tweaking it for what they're asking for, and then you'll be tweaking the budget. So a $20,000 grant, we're going to ask for $20,000 worth of supplies, equipment, software, payroll. For a $10,000 grant, we're going to take some things out. So you want whatever you're asking for to be the same amount as what the grant is. So all we're really doing now is just changing what we're putting in on for the budget. So far, any questions on the business structure or on the business grants?
Yeah, I have a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
So we just Google women's business grants, all of what you just showed us, just Google it.
I sell a grant list. All what I just showed you is on my grant list. I have a grant list for $99. I'll type my my website in the chat.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
If you don't have $99, you can Google business grants. There's a website called helloalice.com. helloalice.com will list grants. There's another website called grantwatch.gov. Wherever you're located, your city will have different grants. States will have different grants. Whoever is the daycare regulatory group in your state, they may have resources or different grants for you. So I would ask them. But business grants are a great way of getting funding because one, it's not going to affect your cash flow. We're not adding another note at the end of the month. When we are, my website is www.thefirmcvgroup.com. Okay, I typed my website in the chat. When we're talking about getting funding for our business, we don't want to bury ourselves in debt. We already have payroll. We got these snacks. We got uniforms. We got lights. We got insurance. We got cable. We got, I don't know if y'all have like subs that come in. Like my mom has a service where if a teacher calls out, a sub will come in. But the sub ain't the teacher, right? So if someone gives Johnny's bottle to someone else and you got a crunk parent, oh my gosh, my child didn't have his snack and all that extra stuff you got to deal with. You want to make sure that we're not adding any more financial burden on the business. So sometimes you may be trying to grow, expand, but taking out a line of credit alone, maxing out the credit cards may not be affordable at that time. Mm-hmm. So by applying for business grants, number one, we don't have to pay the money back. Number two, it's not a big barrier to entry. They don't want 2 years tax returns. They don't need your financials. They don't need 3 months bank statements. They're not going to pull your credit. Depending on how seasoned of a business owner you are, your credit may already be extended by getting the business over. So we don't have bad credit. I just don't have no more room, no more utilization on my credit to be able to do anything. Hey, we can't see the website.
That's good.
So business grants are a great way to get money in for your business. Maybe a daycare always needs something. There's always a child dying. There's a child getting on the wrong after daycare bus. Dealing with kids, you can ask for so many things regarding safety, regarding training, regarding employee retention, bonuses, it's just so much. You can ask, a daycare is just, to me, a gold mine because you're dealing with kids. The nutrition, we want to revamp I don't know if you guys are providing food or not, but we want to revamp our food and have healthier alternatives. Food cost is high now. But we're talking about these kids, right? These are people's kids. So there's always something that could be needed at a daycare. We need to update all this, update the swings, update the slides, change that tar into that to that wood stuff, or to like a higher grade, I forget what it's called. It's not a turf. It's like a higher grade playground floor. Put the stuff around so if it's hot where you are, the sun's not just beating on them kids and they getting overheated and migraines. Change the lighting, update the tables. There's always so many things that we can do for kids, relating it to safety, relating it to development, that is easy to get a grant for.
Sounds good. Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions? Okay. Well, I went over.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So our state funder agency has been giving out some grant money, and I think it's along the lines with the ARPA dollars that came out with after COVID. And at the end of the year, they just send us one big financial, the tax statement. And we're having to pay taxes on that money. So is it best practices to, once you're doing like your purchase agreement, to set aside a portion of that grant money to pay the taxes?
When they say that you're having to pay the taxes on the money, what do you mean? Because
at the end of the year, they're just sending us everything that they paid us, including like the tuition payment, along with the grant money. It's all included in one statement. So then when I go to my tax preparer to do my business taxes, now I have to pay the taxes, and it's put my business in a higher tax bracket. Because all of that, they're not separating it out and saying, okay, I gave you $40,000 for your playground grant, and, I'm paying the taxes on it.
Well, did you use the $40,000 for the playground?
Yes.
Okay, so if you received $40,000 in income from the grant, but you bought a $40,000 playground, then you zeroed out that income.
But I'm still being taxed on the entire $40,000.
I don't think you're being taxed on the entire $40,000. If you receive $40,000 in a grant and you wrote off $40,000 for the playground, you're now at zero.
But
if you are, let me finish. If you are being taxed now, it means that the other income from your daycare is making money. So, if you're making money and you're in business, you are going to be paying taxes. So I don't think the grant money has now made your income higher. But now you have to write off all the expenses. So all the expenses for your business. So
Correct.
Are you sure that you gave your accountant or your CPA all the playground expenses? Because if you got $40,000 and you have expenses for $40,000, you're now at zero. So only thing left is whatever income you have from your daycare. And then when you minus your expenses from your daycare, if whatever is the profit, you're now going to be paying a tax on that profit. That means that your business is making money.
Yeah, I'm just a bit confused on that because from what they're saying, what my tax preparer is saying is that when I do receive that grant money, because the agency is not accounting for the taxes, that I need to set aside, say for instance, 12% of the amount that they are giving us for the grant and set it aside for taxes. But I get what you're saying, that one washes the other. I get that, but they're including like everything that they sent us.
It's going to be included. It's going to be included. Okay, so let's just say that your daycare normally make $60,000. You got a $40,000 grant, so now we got $100,000 of income.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have to write. Who's doing your taxes? An accountant, a CPA, or a tax preparer?
A tax preparer.
But that's mistake number one right there, baby. So once you have a business, we are no longer at Jackson Hewitt. We are no longer at H&R Block. We are no longer at Kiki and them's tax service. Okay, so once you have a business, you need to be at an accountant or a CPA. An accountant has a 4-year degree in accounting, and a CPA has a 4-year accounting degree and then took a test to become a CPA. There are going to be tax deductions that businesses have that Kiki doesn't know about, that Jackson Hewitt doesn't know about, and that H&R Block doesn't know about, because they are specializing in personal tax returns. It don't matter how much. I can give you $1 million in grant money tomorrow. If you go spend $1 million in expenses, the grant money isn't going to cost you nothing. But you're at the wrong place. That's why I think she's telling you put some money aside for taxes. As long as you didn't go to Mexico or Dubai with that $40,000, if you can give someone a receipt with a playground, with the install expenses, with the if you have $40,000 in invoices, there are no taxes, because $40,000 minus 40 is zero. So there is no tax consequence.
Right.
So you're at the wrong place. Let me give you an example why you need to be at an accountant. They're going to charge you some more money, but they're going to have you only pay what you need to pay. We're not talking about earned income credit. We're not talking about getting a refund. Not if we're running a business. When you're running a business, you're not about to get that refund check off the earned income credit. Now, you may have a year, if you're buying a lot of expenses, where you have a loss. A loss can be carried over for 5 years, meaning, let's just say I have a $50,000 loss in 2023. So I'm zeroed out. But in 2024, I have a $60,000 tax bill. Well, my $50,000 loss can carry forward to the next year to wipe out all that tax debt minus $10,000. H&R Block, Jackson Hewitt, Kiki and them tax service don't understand the business tax deductions. You have your daycare expenses. I'm sure you have a home office. I'm sure you have traveled for business. There are so many things that as a business owner, that your day-to-day living expenses are already a tax deduction. If anyone is saying that you're getting grant money and you're going to owe a tax on the grant money, and you're telling that person, I use the grant money for an expense, we're at the wrong, your business is above her pay grade, if that makes sense. No shade, but anyone on here, once you have a business, we are past H&R Block, Jackson Hewitt, and Kiki and them. You're going to be looking at paying about $750 for a tax return, but it's going to be done right. Besides being done right, eventually your business is going to grow. As your business grows, you need to know, what do I need to be doing with this income? That's called tax planning. your accountant or your CPA can say, hey, I don't know what you're doing over there, but you got too many kids at that daycare. You about to be hit with a tax bill. You need to go buy equipment and inventory before December. So if you have to cut a check for 50 grand, do you want to cut 40 grand, be able to get supplies, a new playground, new equipment for your daycare, and just cut 10 to the IRS, or cut the whole 50 to the IRS? So as your business grows, you need to be at someone that can kind of guide you with this increase in income. What am I supposed to be doing with it to shield as much tax liability as possible? So you may love your girl and all that stuff, but baby, if she's saying you're gonna pay a tax on a grant, you're at the wrong place.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else have a question? I saw you had did you have your hand raised, Miss Angela, or no?
No, I didn't. I was just saying how good that information was.
Oh, okay. Where are you from, Miss Angela? I like your accent.
Thank you. I'm from California, but my husband's from Alabama, so
Okay.
I hear his accent a lot, and I think it's caught on to me.
I think so too. I went to undergrad in Huntsville.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Okay, well, if we don't have any more questions, is there anything else you want me to discuss? Let me look in the chat. We don't see any of your messages. What's the website?
My name is Bridget. I'm from Richmond, Virginia.
Hi, Bridget.
How are you?
Awesome. How are you?
I'm good. I think you hit on mine a bit. My childcare center is definitely making a profit, and I think the disconnect for me and my sister was I would leave the money, of course, in the business account, and at the end of the year, I'm having to pay a lot of money back, and it's because they like, basically you have a profit. But I was looking at it as like I take home money, so let's say I pay myself $60,000 a year, like everybody else, and the money stayed in the bank in the business account. So basically, I'm making 60 plus. I think last year we kind of made a $500,000 profit, and it was kind of hurting my household a little bit. I guess I'm not thinking about it the right way because my husband's like, "Well, we owe all this money in taxes." Because that's not what my home account says, but my business account says something different. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So an LLC is going to be considered a pass-through entity for tax purposes, which means the business doesn't pay a tax. So all the income and all the expenses flow to your personal tax return. And you're going to file that on your Schedule C.
Okay.
So if you made $1 million this year and you left all the $1 million in your daycare bank account, it doesn't matter because all the profits flow to you personally. So whether you spend it or you don't spend it, you're paying a tax on the profit.
Gotcha.
So if you guys are you an LLC or are you an S Corp?
An LLC.
Baby, there's your 6-figure mistake right there. Now, once you're making $50,000 or $60,000 in profit, you need to change from being an LLC to being taxed as an S Corp. You're still going to be an LLC, but you're going to tell the IRS, hey, IRS, I want to be taxed as an S Corp. So an LLC pays a 12.4% self-employment tax on the profit. And I'm telling you this with love in a 6-figure tax bill because I did the same thing. Okay? I had to learn the hard way. I had to write a check, Miss Bridget, okay?
I understand that.
So you're looking at paying $62,000 simply in self-employment taxes, not including the income tax you're about to pay. So when you are making, you need to definitely be at an accountant or a CPA's office.
I definitely am.
The deadline to make the S Corp election is going to be on March 15th.
Okay.
So it's a form. It's going to be IRS form 2553. You need to make that tax election so that you're no longer going to be paying a 12.4% self-employment tax on all the profit. Now,
Okay.
you're going to have to be on payroll now.
So, okay, well, maybe I am then. Maybe I misspoke because I am on payroll. I get a check.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're getting a check, you can either run your entire check through payroll, or you can split your payroll. So pay yourself half of what you would pay yourself on the payroll check, and then take the other half as a distribution where you're just wiring the money from your account to your personal account.
Gotcha. Okay.
But you need to be meeting with your accountant or CPA at least twice a year. So in June, I don't know what happened as to why you have all this money. Did we get more key, like whatever's happening in that June, July, we should be at the CPA's office with where we are right now.
Right.
So when he sees you guys like, oh baby, y'all balling over here, okay, you're gonna cut a check. The question is, where do you want the money to go to? So if I got to spend $60,000 this year, wouldn't it be more beneficial to go ahead and just stock up on all the paper towels and pretzels and goldfish, and maybe it's time to, paint something, make the money be in your business. Maybe,
Gotcha.
Maybe this year you said you and your sister own the daycare?
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well maybe this year your board meeting may be in Cancun.
Right.
Okay, so now we got us, the flight, the hotel, the meals reasonable. Don't be trying to get no $1,000 bottle of wine, but now all of that will be a business expense.
Okay.
If you cut a check, you want to cut the check where you want to cut the check to.
Right.
So
on
let
your website, can I book you personally so we can talk more? Because I just need more knowledge.
You sure can. If you go on my website,
okay.
you book a consultation. I'll break all this down to you so you understand how you can kind of start planning. And I also have a tax deduction guide on my website for daycares that'll show you all the different tax deductions that'll be for that industry.
Okay, I'll reach out to you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else have any questions?
Last question. What is your website again?
It's going to be the Firm CB Group. So THEFIRM, C as in cat, B as in boy, group.com.
It's also in the chat, so you guys just need to really kind of scroll up. I understand that initially when she first dropped it in the chat, it was an accident where she only DM'd it to me, but then I copied and pasted all of the shares that she shared her personal website for her business. She also shared 2 other websites for those grants, and I copied and pasted that. And I'll put those. Is her the firm CBgroup.com, Hello Alice, and grantwatch.gov that I'm reposting for you guys. Okay, so if there's nothing else, we would love to be respectful of everyone's time, and we are greatly appreciative of your time, Joy. And so if you would like, I definitely can send you the recording. And for the Click members, the recording will be placed into the Click by tomorrow as well. But I believe for me personally, this has been a great resource. It was extremely informative. a great wealth of knowledge and resources. And I would encourage you all to also visit her website as well. It is a great resource. I've been scrolling through and looking through it today also. So if you all don't have anything else, again, the recording will be in the clip, and I'll send it to you as well, Joy.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me, and have an awesome week.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
No
Good night,
problem.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good.
Okay, so that was a paid webinar. So I will post that on my subscribers page. So if you are a subscriber of mine, whenever I get paid to speak, I post those lives on the subscribers page. So if you are a subscriber and you chimed in late, I will post it on my page. I'll probably go live in about 10 minutes going over. Beyonce has a grant that just came out. So I'll go over this Beyonce grant. So let me save this live and I'll come back on. Okay.